In the last video, we looked at event handling mechanism in Spring Boot. If you have not yet watched it, do watch it. Link is at the top right corner. Just to recap, to add event support in Spring Boot, first we need to create an event, which is a class with a constructor taking at least one object argument. You can add other arguments to this constructor if required. This is usually done to capture more information about an event. Second is the event listener or event handler, which will actually perform the task when an event is raised or published. This event listener should be a Spring Bean and contains a method with event listener annotation. It takes the event object as argument, so whenever an event of this type is raised, this event handler method is automatically called. Finally, in third step, we need to publish the event where needed. In this case, whenever a REST call is made, we need to capture it. To publish event, Spring's application event publisher class is used. Its publish method raises an event. In the publish method, we provided the event type which should be published. When this event is published, the listener bound to this event type is called automatically. Let's run the application. Look, this message is printed, which means that this method was called automatically. Now let's look at some advanced options. Let's say we are also executing some task after handling the event. Let's print a message after and before the event publish. Also, make the event handling process delay a bit by adding thread.sleep for 2 seconds. Since in real application, this will actually take some time to process. Place it inside the try-catch block. Run the application. Look, the message after event publish is printed after a slight delay. This means that the event handling task is being performed on the same thread. Let's also print the thread names in event handler and publisher methods. Run the application again. Both the threads are same. Event handling tasks should run in the background and should never block the main application. In other words, they should be performed on a different thread or asynchronously. Doing that is very simple. Just apply async annotation over the event handler to inform Spring that it should be executed asynchronously. Secondly, add enable async annotation over the main class or your configuration class that has a configuration annotation. Run again. Now the main thread was not blocked and the event was processed in another thread. Also take a look at the thread names. They are different. It might be the case that I do not want to handle an event every time it is published. For example, my event handler is pushing records to the database and the application might be running in a test environment. I would not prefer unnecessary data insertion. Or in this example, I might want to handle the event for non-secure URLs to track and raise an alert if my application is accessing unsecured URLs. For these scenarios, the event can be handled conditionally. Event listener annotation has a condition attribute. This method will be called only if its value returns true. Now, to check if the URL is unsecured, we can test if it starts with HTTP only. To access the URL, we need this event object since its getSource method will give us the URL. Condition attribute supports Spring expression language, and if you look at its documentation, then there is a root object. Its args fields returns an argument array for this method. Since there is only one argument, the event object will be at index 0. So, we can access the event object using syntax #root.args followed by 0 in square brackets, similar to how we access array elements in Java. URL will be inside source field, and to check if it is an HTTP URL, we can use Spring starts with method. If the value of this expression returns true, then only this method will be called. Run the application. The method is called for HTTP URL. Now change the URL to HTTPS. Run again. The event handler method is not called. So, in this way, you can customize the event handling mechanism by calling it conditionally. Hope this video was useful in taking Spring Event Handling System to advanced level. Thank you for watching.